it's Melinda. I'm hoping that I don't freeze up. I've been having some problems with my internet, so bear with me. So I wanted to pop in. I popped into my group, the Survivors Cafe, to share a little bit of tidbits with them. If you are a victim or a survivor and you're looking for help, or a great community, I have a wonderful community of ladies in that group. It's ladies only, sorry guys. And they are just remarkable. I can't brag on them enough. They're awesome. So if you're looking for support, if you're looking for encouragement, please consider joining the Survivor Cafe. It's a whole, when there was non-group, I just switched the name out. So let's talk about just briefly, can a person change? And there's some other things I want to talk on too, that there is a possibility that people can change. I've seen it. I've seen some people that once they're confronted with whatever they've got going on, whether they're physically or verbally abusive, then they are able to change. Make that change. So it might not be that they're necessarily a narcissist, but they are definitely wanting to change. Maybe they have an alcohol or drug addiction, so they go into some sort of rehab, or they, hey, Miss Jen, or they are, they didn't realize that they're being a bully. Maybe they have no clue. Perhaps they grew up in an environment that was toxic and they took on those traits. Now, and I know, but before you go, they can do that. People can actually, after they're out of an abusive relationship, they can then take on those traits of that narcissist, of that toxic person. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're that person. I know it sounds so weird, right? But they can take on those habits, those nasty things, the dark stuff. But they can change. Once they're confronted with it, they can change. They have to want to. They really honestly have to want to. And they have to try. So let's say, for instance, let's say you decide, okay, you are going to talk with Mr. Wonderful or Ms. Wonderful, and I'm saying that sarcastically. Maybe you've had it, you're done, and you've, you want to do counseling. Okay, maybe they're receptive for counseling. Perhaps you separate. Hey, Miss Jill. So during that separation, I'm going to encourage you to stay separated, at least for a good 6 months or a year or longer, maybe 2. Why so long? And I don't mean for you to be giving up, the coochie down there. I mean, you keep your legs shut there. And I don't mean to be so crass, but really, sex can mess things up, especially when you are going through that process of getting back together or possibly getting back together. That can really cloud your judgment. You need to start working on yourself. Miss Jill. Yourself self-improve too. It takes 2 in a relationship. Even though this person might be mean and nasty and just really evil to you, it still takes 2. That means to rebuild yourself. Okay, so maybe this person was verbally abusive to you. Well, did you dish it back? And I'm not condoning this behavior, by the way. There's no excuse for them doing that to you. But what patterns did you pick up as well? Is that something you can work on, that you can recognize? I went ahead and I had to re-examine myself too, going into a new relationship. Okay, this is what I bring to that relationship. And even when we were trying to repair my marriage back then, I had to claim my faults. I had to go ahead and say, okay, I am taking responsibility for this, this, and this. I'm sorry. And so you have to also take a step back, reflect on yourself, okay? So, but again, staying apart for a while and encouraging you to do that can help you not only find clarity, but also can help you, someone's speaking up here, can help you going forward for both of you to find the help that you both need, okay? So again, just practice and take care of yourself too, even if you don't separate. But if you're in a position right now where you've already left them and so on, self-care is so important. I cannot even begin to stress how important that is for you. Now, it might be relaxing music. It looks different for everybody. What worked for me might not work for you. It could be taking a long bath. It could be finding something. Hi.
You have garbage?
Oh, I do. Sorry, important stuff. Taking out the trash.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of trash.
Leave in the bin.
I'm doing eBay again, so I have a lot of trash. So you won't always feel this way. You might be feeling really crappy right now. It could be that you're maybe a month to 6 months out of leaving your abuser. You won't always feel this way. I promise you. When you look back in 6 months plus or a year, you're going to be amazed at where you've come, how far you've come, and you might not even realize it. So you are more than welcome. Let's chat. If we've already chatted in the past and you want to chat again, let's talk. So what can you do? You can go for a walk. You can exercise. You can just go ahead and do some grounding yourself. Self-care. It's so important. You really, really, because you can't, my garbage can just kind of quietly came around the corner. My daughter. Okay. So again, it's what works for me might not work for you. If you need some ideas on any of this, please don't hesitate to message me privately. Now, I want you to, and I forgot to mention this in my video with my ladies there. I want to give you a challenge. How well do you accept compliments? This was a hard one for me. When I left, again, I've shared it before. My self-esteem was like this. Whew. When someone would say, "Hey, Melinda, I love that shirt," or "Your hair looks nice," or "Wow, what did you do?" You know, something, "You're glowing." And I'd mumble something. I might just look down like, "No, this old shirt, no, yeah, I've had this forever. Or I got it at the thrift store." I wouldn't just take that compliment from them. I wouldn't say, "Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you." You know, or, "Hey, you have a lovely smile." And I'd be like, "Thanks." You know, I wouldn't show my mouth. That was my ex thing, things that he used to put me down about. So I had a hard time, you know, those verbal things in my mind. I had them replaying and replaying. And of course, I was my own mean girl thinking that person must want something. Why are they saying something? They must need something. I never thought of a person just being genuine. And people are just genuine thinking, "You do have a nice shirt. You do look nice today. Say thank you." And if you want to compliment them back, I encourage you to do that. Do it to a stranger. Do you know how great it makes me feel when someone's like, "Hey, I love those earrings." I'm like, "Oh, stop." I really enjoy hearing the compliments and paying them forward and giving them back to maybe that person or another person. It really makes a person's day. It really does. So we do have, and I mentioned this in my other group in the Survivor Cafe, that we are in this club that no one wants to be a part of, okay? And I mentioned it there too, that I'd much rather say I'm in this club making 6 figures, 8 figures, and I'm this boss mom. And no, I am a survivor of abuse. I'm a thriver of abuse, and I am proud of that. Not that back then I didn't want to admit that. I didn't. But now going forward, I do. I'm very proud of where I've come from. And we all share a lot of the same story. If you talk to an abuse survivor, childhood abuse, or as an adult, we are our stories are so similar. We are different versions of the same story. Does that sound weird? But that's what we are. We honestly are. There's different tweaking, different things that are a little bit different, but we are all, you know, when you realize that you're in this club and that you're not alone, it's very empowering. It's very eye-opening, and you don't feel as lonely, really. So what is healthy? What does a healthy relationship look like? And I've shared this before in different videos too. What boundaries are you having? What activities? What self-care? Healthy relationship starts with you recognizing the red flags, recognizing, okay, I don't want this from a person. You know, he's automatically on the first date touchy-feely. Maybe you've jumped out of that relationship and automatically that person's sending you pictures of his penis right away. No, girl. Whatever relationship you don't want for, let's say, your sister or your own child, your daughter, your son, what kind of relationship do you want for yourself? You don't want that kind of nasty relationship for them? Please, hold your head up high. I had a man that I knew. I met him at an attorney's office when I was a receptionist. We got to talking, and we exchanged numbers. Well, no, we didn't exchange numbers. He just called me up there, and I was kind of at a spot where my ex had canceled the check for my rent because he offered to pay, and I didn't have money. I had just started the job. So he offered to pay, my ex did, but he stopped payment on it. I'm going crazy thinking, what the heck am I going to do? And I am sort of seeing Mr. Awesome at that time, before he was Mr. Awesome. And we had a close relationship, but he wasn't ready to get into, "Hey, Miss Gina," into anything, because I was in the 2 year crazies. After you leave a relationship, I've said this before, there's a 2-year period, and I've learned this from Mr. Awesome. where everything's kind of crazy. Your emotions are crazy. It's the 2-year crazies. You're up, you're down. You don't know whether you're going left, you're right. You might go through a few different relationships around that time. You're still learning about yourself, or you just might dive into another bad relationship. It's the 2-year crazies. But anyway, so the man came in. We didn't talk on the phone. He came in. He saw me that I was looking kind of distraught. He asked me what's going on, and then he left. He called me on the phone while I was still working, and he's like, I got a proposal for you. How about this? How about you go out with me? Maybe on Friday. I'll pick you up. We'll go out. We'll have a good time. And he goes, I'll pay you for what my rent was. Whatever it was. I think it was like I needed $1,300. It was a deposit and first month's rent. That's what it was. So I needed like $1,300 or $1,400. So I'll go ahead and I'll give it to you. I'm thinking, why are you going to give it to me? He goes, you're going to go out on a date with me, and you'll do whatever I want you to. I'm like, what? And he's like, I'll pay you $1,400. And he said, if you want to continue that kind of relationship, I'll be happy to pay you. You know, we'll go on a date a couple times a month, or, you know, however you want to do this, you know, I'll pay you. And I said, well, that makes me a whore. Now, I have morals, and sometimes they're low, but I do have standards and morals. I said, no. And I didn't even know whether to say thank you on that. And it made me feel really dirty, and it made me feel very cheap. I didn't feel very good about myself. I really didn't. But recognizing, ooh, I didn't like that, was very, very good for me. It really was. I could have easily said, yeah, okay, I'll see you at 8. And I could have done that. And I know that, and I've heard some women do that. They get desperate for that time with a person. They're lonely, and someone's going to pay attention to them. And this wasn't the attention that I wanted. This wasn't the positive attention that I was looking for, and that I needed at that time. This is not a good thing. Like I said, it made me feel dirty, and no. So I said, I didn't talk to that man anymore. Like, no. Yeah, and I'm not cheap and easy. No. I joked about it with a few people. Well, I paused, but then, no, I didn't even pause. It didn't take me long to say, no, I'm sorry, buddy. No, So learning about myself, and that helped me. That was a very big and eye-opening. So that helped me realize, no, I value myself. I value me very much, and I'm not going to do that. So let's just say now you're gone. You can't go back, and you definitely can't, and you might not want to go back to the way it was. I know I didn't. I don't. So you did the best that you could with the situation that you were in. So I want to give you high kudos. Whoever is watching this right now, I'm proud of you for, surviving right now. It's tough, and it isn't easy, and you feel like maybe God has failed you. All this stuff is happening. You don't feel that God is with you right now. Hey. Minnie Man, yes dear.
We should just make dinner.
You can start making dinner right now. Dinner. Okay. So, again, bringing out your inner mean girl. So these are things that are going to help you. You want to try and you don't want to take that journey backward. You want to go forward. So you got to kind of shut her up as best you can. Remember the rubber band trick. If you don't remember the rubber band trick, I don't have one with me. You put a rubber band on your wrist, and anytime you have a thought, or maybe you say something out of your mouth that's mean about you, you snap that. You just snap that. So you got to quiet that inner meanie, because you could be a guy here too that's a victim here. So look back at your relationship. What were the red flags? Can you see them now? Honestly, I didn't know what red flags were. If you need some help with this, I'm happy to help you. Message me privately. He or she, whoever it was, they may never change, okay? You don't have to stop thinking about them for prayer, or, just praying on that relationship for maybe children. You want those children to, maybe they recognize the patterns, whatever, but they're probably not going to change. But realizing this helps you to gain that clarity. I did take some notes. I'm looking down a lot. To gain that clarity, and also, again, reflection of yourself. That will really help you. So learning to cope through tough situations by yourself. Oh my gosh, you might want somebody there. It's so easy to call up and say, please help me, or to feel like a victim. But getting yourself out of that victim mode is so important. I'm telling you, honestly, you've got to get yourself out of there, sis. Really and truly, the best gift you can give to yourself is the gift of finding that inner strength in you to do the hard things, to do those tough things, to not fall back on mom or dad or your ex or maybe a new person that's suddenly come into your life, recognizing that you can do these things on your own, so important. And I don't want you to get, somebody's going to start paying you attention, okay, once you leave, and it might be quick. It could be within a couple days. It could be within weeks. It could be within a couple months. Please remember the red flags, okay? Don't be giving it up. That golden treasure down here, don't be giving it up so easy. Please don't. Just don't. Again, sex can really make things crazy, so don't do that. I know, do as I say, don't as I do. Say as I do, but honestly, I'm telling you, sex complicates things, okay? And I want to be honest with you. It does. It can complicate things. I didn't do that leaving my ex, but it muddies the water, and it ties you to a person that, what if they are a bad person? You know, look and see how they treat your kids. When they stub their toe, when that person is wrong, are their reactions? Are their reactions one that's, you know, that they are, okay, I stubbed my toe, sweet baby Jesus, or hey, the car failed, and then they're yelling at you, or they're yelling at your kids. Be mindful of this, okay? Be mindful of those reactions of how that person is. So coping with these tough situations, again, that's at self-care. You might have to go into your Bible. Please pray. Please talk to God. Go for a walk. Talk it out with a friend, a trusted friend. I'm not saying you can't lean on a friend right now. You can't find support, whether a support group or a person or your mom and dad or something. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there are times to start learning that you can do this on your own. And I know it's tough. Again, I've said this before. It's tough. And I wanted to cry and I wanted to scream and I did pout and I did stomp my feet and I did yell and I did break things. And it felt so good to do that too. You can do all those things. You can cry. If you need to say bad words, say bad words. Whatever it is to help you through these tough situations, do. You are doing the best you can with the situation you have. So watch some funny movies if you're in a funk. Use some essential oils or listen to some positive music. You know, don't be watching Fear the Walking Dead when you're in a funk right now. You want to watch something positive. Don't be watching some of this other crazy stuff. Watch something positive. Find America's Funniest Home Videos. Find some funny animal videos or baby videos. I love watching funny babies because, you know, they're not scripted, or even the funny pets. They're not scripted. Cracks me up, gets me out of a funk all the time. You meditate. Do something like that. If you're not you have to learn how to set boundaries, okay? You might not be able to do this safely, especially if you're still in a violent situation, or maybe someone that they can't admit that they have an issue, okay? So that's okay. You recognize that. You recognize that this person, and that's a big step, recognizing that this person has issue, recognizing the behavior, and maybe you don't want to call it out on them, especially when you're in a violent situation, but recognizing that and maybe separate. Oh, eBay. Sorry. Recognizing that is so important. It really is. That person might not be able to help. They might not want to get help. I can't begin to tell you how proud I am of you if you are starting to see those signs, if you're starting to recognize that. Woohoo! That is amazing if you can do that. And I didn't know a lot of these things when I left my relationship. And so I wanted to give back to everybody else, to be, I don't want to make myself sound big-headed. I wanted to share with you the things and struggles that I had going forward, and things that I've learned, and all these terms, the gaslighting, the abuse, the, oh gosh, all the other things, the honeymoon phase. I had no idea what those were. I didn't. But I did go ahead and I started to educate myself on those things, to learn the hoovering and the stoning, the gray stone, quiet stone. Sometimes I wanted to hit him with a stone kind of method. You know, I can laugh at some of this stuff now. I didn't feel like laughing back then. So if you see me laugh or smile at some of these things as I'm chatting in any of my videos, it's taken me a long time to get to that point. Didn't happen overnight. Again, it's been 11 years. It's been 11 years to come from where I was to who I am now. I'm an entirely different person. I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows and can say, I know. I knew her when she was a kid. Yeah, she wasn't like this. Yeah, so I've come a long way, and I'm darn proud of it. So I am going to sign off. If you have any questions or comments, please place them in the comment section below. Message me privately. How can I help you? Do you have a certain need? Do you just need to talk? Do you need to do coffee? Do we need to brainstorm? Maybe you're out of a relationship, but you don't have a job. Do you need to know, okay, where do I go? What are your goals? What are your hopes? I can sit with you virtually. We can do coffee chat. We can just do a messenger. I'm yours. What can I help you with? Do you need help finding maybe just a domestic violence shelter? There's it's domesticshelters.org, but I can help you with that. And I can't help you with everything, okay? I can't help you with everything. There's some tough stuff that you're going to have to do. If you don't have an attorney, maybe you need to find one that's pro bono. I can kind of direct you to the bar association to find that, or in your area, maybe you don't know where your bar association is, or maybe you don't know where to file pro se, which is by yourself. If you don't have an attorney, you're pro se. That's something I learned. But yes, empower yourself by learning. If you're going through a divorce or thinking about going through a divorce, start empowering yourself. Look at those documents online. Many of the documents that you need for divorce and even for child support, that's all online right now. Some places are awesome. They have videos, tutorials. Sometimes they'll have like legal aid on certain days. I encourage you to do that. But if it's a custody battle, if it's something where your ex is threatening to take your kids away from you, you move hell or high water. You do whatever you can. Find a way to get an attorney. I can't stress enough how important it is that during situations like that, during custody battles, or when you're having other issues like that, that you find an attorney. Really, honestly, find a good one. Find one that you can work with, that understands. If this person that you have right now is not working with you, that maybe you're not meshing, you can fire them. I didn't know that, and I don't mean any jokes about it. I didn't realize that doctors and therapists and counselors and attorneys, they work for you. You're paying for them. I didn't know that. I just figured, well, this is the person that I've been told to call, so I'm going to call them. No, shop around to find someone that works for you. Healing comes in all different sizes. What works for me might not work for you. Again, the same thing with counselors. One counselor that worked for me, it might not work for you. So you might want to call around. Ask other people, what attorney did you use? What therapist did you use? And what did you think about them? Look for reviews online. So I encourage you to dig in, educate yourself. And again, this is empowering too. And that is part of self-care and self-help. So I'm going to go ahead and sign on off. Again, if you have any other questions, message me privately or in the comment section. If you're watching this in a replay, do a hashtag fire emoji. Have a great rest of your day. I'm so glad I didn't freeze, and I hope you're seeing me okay. This is Melinda signing off, and just stay safe. And again, if you need help, honestly, message me. I'm here. Talk to you later. Bye. Or not. Maybe not. Try this again.